The mode control dramatically changes how the metal detector sounds and acts and what information is displayed on the LCD screen. Coin and jewelry is your most general purpose, beaches, parks, residential yards, general purpose searching. You'll find that the people that are finding the deepest targets are digging more junk, and you're going to dig more junk as you dig more of these questionable signals. The MXT does give you some help in this area. If you get a target, the size of this block is significant. A full block indicates very sure of the MXT is very sure of the indication. A half block or a quarter block here indicates that it is not quite sure of the information. It probably is a deeper target. Some of those that are questionable audio, some sputtering and spitting, maybe has a partial block there on the ID display, you're going to want to check the depth. And if it's deep, if it's 6-8 inches, you're going to want to dig some of those targets. Again, the people that are finding the deepest stuff are digging some more trash. And by watching that partial block, checking the depth reading, deep targets are more likely to be valuable targets, deep being 5-6 inches and deeper, something in the 8-9 inch area, even though it gives a questionable tone and display indication. If it's got a deep depth indication and a partial block, it's probably worth digging. If you're just digging too much junk so that it's not any fun anymore, you can turn the discriminator up and reject more and more of your junk. Up to the highest discrimination settings, you're really only going to get copper and silver at your highest discrimination settings. What you really start to lose is your nickels and your jewelry. It's better if you can is to keep it down on the more closer to the triangle and use the display, the block size, and the depth reading to sort out a lot of your aluminum and other trash that fall higher in the scale. Your Relic mode is more geared towards your abandoned homesteads, your particular sites that are in the 17 and 1800s, more looking for brasses and leads and things of that nature. In the Relic program, targets that are rejected by the discriminator, like your iron type targets, give one tone. Accepted targets, like the things you're looking for, give a higher tone. You also have different types of indications, your bullets and your buttons, typical stuff you find in relic hunting, which is a little different than coin shooting, things like this that you're looking for. But again, depending on where the discriminator is set, your lower tones will be your rejects, and your higher tones will be your accepted targets. Relic does not give you as much trash rejection as coin and jewelry would. Because you're looking for a wider variety of targets, you're going to have to dig a wider variety of metal alloys to be successful. And then prospecting, again, changes completely how the detector acts and sounds and the information that's displayed on the screen. Prospecting is set up mostly for gold nugget shooting, looking for natural gold nuggets. Very difficult to use that in a populated area where you're going to have a lot of modern gum wrappers and things like that. Again, prospecting is even less trash rejection than iron or coin and jewelry. In a prospecting mode, you pretty much have to dig everything except your iron. You can successfully, with practice, eliminate digging your nails and your bits of barbed wire, but anything in the lead, brass, coin range, you're going to dig on top of the gold nuggets. The display and the sound of the detector again change significantly. What you really want to see is a nice, or what you want to hear is a nice, solid, repeatable zip zip sound. And you want a very low probability of being iron. You can see this iron target with a question mark. 10%, that'd be a good target. That'd be something you'd really want to dig. Now, as you come across other types of targets, little different sound on the iron target, and look at the probability of iron is 90%. That's not something you're going to want to dig. So again, you're looking for a low probability of iron. 10% through 50% are probably going to be of interest. The high probability of iron is probably not what you're going to want to dig. 60 through 90% probability of iron is not going to be of interest. Some other things on the display. Typically, your gold nuggets give you VDI numbers in the lower range. Here's a plus 12. This is your VDI range here on your scale. Most of your gold targets are going to come from minus 20 through 40s and 50s. Rarely do they get up into the 90s in the Americas. They can get that high in some areas that have pure gold, but you kind of have to test some targets in your ground and see what they'll do. So again, a zip zip sound, low probability of iron, that's what you're looking for a nugget. Another thing that the prospecting screen gives you is a monitor of the ground, and that's tracking the mineral in the ground. If you see this ground number climbing, say from 41 to 50 to 60, that means you're getting towards the heavier types of minerals, the black sands, the higher iron type content, and that's a good thing. That's typically where you find your gold nuggets. The opposite of that, of course, is as the numbers are dropping, say from 40s to 30s to 20s, that means you're getting into more conductive types of ground. Now, in some hard rock environments, that could be more ounces per ton. So the change is of more interest than in which particular direction it's going in. Higher numbers means you're going more magnetic to the heavier black sands. Gold is heavier, it tends to settle with the heavier materials, so that could be a good thing. Lower numbers is more conductive, more metal per ton. That may also be of interest, say if you're following a vein and you see this number falling dramatically, you could be getting more and more conductive ounces per ton in that vein. So a change is what's of interest in this ground reading. But primarily you're looking for a zip zip sound and a low probability of iron. The ground number climbing or falling is going to tell you something's happening with the ground, and you're either going more magnetic or you're going more conductive.